What were your guys? So other than like your nicknames that like are like obvious, like did you guys have like a nickname in high school?
Long schlong big boy.
What a coincidence! That was mine too.
Oh shit, that's so fucking funny.
I think my high school nickname was like.
Oh God!
All right.
For your boy.
Well, no, Tyler, we can't use that. All right, Tyler, I want you to have a thriving career. Maybe we'll bleep it.
You know what? I'm
God.
among friends here. It's just a little bit. It's just a little locker room talk.
Two of your best friends and all 8 of the people that listen to our.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you're amongst. Hey, Tyler, how do you think your mom's gonna react to that one?
Coming to you live from beautiful Hollywood, California, it's the podcast. Look at those tremendous sights and sounds from Hollywood's most daring podcast stunts. If you pay close attention, you can see some of Hollywood's greatest stars coming to record their favorite podcast.
Is that Leonardo DiCaprio?
That's right, you'll never know what could happen on the podcast lot. Join us as we take you behind the scenes for exclusive PPP Podcast Production Lot Tour, featuring star and cast of Signs and Scene, Neil Henry.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do a bit.
Tyler Jake.
Am I supposed to do the voice?
I'm Olivia Fumiati, and they've put lead on my face. Sights and sounds coming to you from the best and brightest from Hollywood's podcast production studios. It's a podcast. A podcast for podcasters by Hollywood's best
And brightest podcasters. How you guys doing today?
I've never been to Hollywood.
You should come out. It's a very fun time. It smells like pee, but in a good way. In a way that
It smells
makes
like,
you think.
You know how New York is sort of like pee and garbage. California is sort of like pee and weed.
Pee and cocaine, really. It's a lot. It's still cocaine's pretty big problem out
There's a
here.
guy who plays the drums in Government Center on the
familiar.
weekends and weeknights. Great guy.
Love him.
And
Great performer.
so he was doing his thing on the Blue Line platform at Government Center. And this like woman starts yelling at him. And like they start like arguing.
Leave him alone. He's just
and
drumming.
she's arguing with her into his microphone.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I love a little crowd work.
And she's like, they're bringing in the crack from Canada. It's not coming from the Dominican. And he's like, lady, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And the lady's like, what do you mean you don't speak Spanish? And there was no, like, it was just completely a non sequitur in the opposite, course, changed, conversation.
But listen,
directions.
as Americans, we should be speaking Spanish. Let's teach more Spanish in school and make them learn it.
It's time for our monthly check-in. Tyler, how's your Spanish
Yeah,
going?
Tyler, let's speak us a little Spanish.
Can I just say, guys, that it is no bueno.
All right. Tyler, I'll send you some apps.
I've been working too long on...
What's your Duolingo streak like, huh? Tyler?
I think right now it's a big goose egg right now.
Come on,
But,
Tyler. Get it together.
I'm trying, O'Neill. I'm sorry. And you know, while I'm apologizing, I don't know what intro you used, but I want to apologize for my last couple of intros.
Yeah, we should.
And mainly I want to apologize to my mom.
Yeah.
Christy, this
Mom.
one's just for you.
I'm sorry that I asked Ingrid Bergman's ghost for Sloppy Top.
More and more, we're making the show inaccessible to people.
Yeah, it's sort
We're
of,
just
well, listen,
our
it's
name
about
is
the
already
lore.
unsearchable, and then people who find our show listen to giving ghost sloppy top, and like, how are they supposed to relate?
What do
We
you
need
mean?
to-
How are they
listen,
supposed to relate?
It's
They've seen
comedy.
Ghostbusters. It's comedy.
I've seen Ghostbusters.
I guess. Listen, the more and more I see, you really have to be sort of lowest common denominator in order to get people to listen to your stuff, at least to bring them on. And I feel like we're just sort of alienating ourselves sometimes. What did you say about
Our
Obama?
comedy's sort of too highbrow, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we're kind of a little bit too intellectual. Maybe we need to dumb it down a bit. Ingrid Bergman.
It's Rick Moranis.
All right,
atop.
it's the podcast, a podcast for podcasters by podcasters. We're here to make podcasts happen. We're here to innovate and change the podcasting world. Do you guys think? Hey, it's a week after the fucking
hey, guys,
Oscars. Wait, no,
can I
fucking
talk-
let me finish. Do we think
Yeah, go
we
ahead.
got? Hey. Do we think we got? Shut the fuck up! Do we think we're gonna fucking cease and desist? Do we think we got a cease and desist from the fucking Oscars presents the Glassies bullshit that we just did last week?
I'm going to say, as we've established, about 8 people listen to us.
Yeah, so that's fair.
So I'm going to say no.
No?
No.
Okay, let's get to the Wheel of Choosing!
Show me the wheel.
And spin it! Whoa! Would you look at that? Hollywood's best and brightest. We have a surprise guest of
Academy
Meryl
Award
Streep.
winner Meryl Streep.
God bless.
That's right. Fresh off my Oscar win for whatever I was in this.
Mamma Mia 2.5. Here we
Mia.
go again.
Here we go again, one more time.
So we're fresh off the Oscars, gang.
Yes.
And talking to people at work, talking to people at the bar, talking to my parents, you know, I've realized
Must be
that
nice.
I think this country's sort of biggest problem is media literacy. I think people don't
Yeah,
know how
okay.
to watch movies and media properly. And I'd like to change that. This
Okay.
is an educational podcast in which we examine one motion picture in a variety of ways to teach people about movies and about how they should be watching movies better.
Okay, all right.
And that movie that we will be watching is the movie Holes starring Shia LaBeouf.
God.
And this
Oh, God,
podcast
okay,
is called
all right.
A Holistic Approach.
I'm gonna nut. I'm soaking wet. I'm so excited.
Oh, no.
Oh, Tyler, you have to be careful. Tyler, you have to let us know before you make these things. We have to lay down
I'm
plastic.
fully erect.
Now
I wanna do
this
this.
podcast is too wet already. It's too wild and wet. We're gonna have fucking OSHA come in and be like, why aren't there more wet floor signs? This place is a fucking mess. We're gonna have to start wearing those grippy rubber things you have to put on your shoes whenever you're working in a kitchen.
Start wearing waders.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start wearing smocks and shit. We're gonna have to wear gloves and those little rain boot things that they wear when
That
they're
should
picking
be our
cranberries.
tagline. The podcast. Make sure you have some napkins on.
Yeah, the podcast. It's gonna get wet.
The podcast, wet and wild.
Wet and wild. Podcast. There is a splash zone, and it's the downstairs.
Here's the thing. When I come and I bring
when you come,
when I come, I'm just going to continue this bit. When I come, it's sort of like one of those things at the water parks where the bucket slowly fills up.
This might be our most sort of illogical episode ever. Nobody's gonna understand the premise
We just
of our
came
show.
off of so much actual comedy writing.
We came
Two
off of
great
exactly.
episodes.
That's
they
exactly
can't
it.
all be winners.
That's
Sometimes
it. We came
need
off
to
of
take-
two like top tier, like spent a ton of time getting
yeah.
them like really good episodes. We just did sweeps. Listen, we just did sweeps, and this one is filler.
Yeah, no. Is this what? Are we just gonna just preemptively title this one "The Cum Down"? Oh, and is it CUM? The Cum Down?
Comfy
No. This is gonna be. if you read our fucking thing, it's gonna be unreadable. Oh God, the Cum Down. All right, Tyler.
Anyway,
tell us about
a
your Holes
holistic
movie.
approach.
Yes. Okay.
You know, this Holes is one of the greatest films of all
So
time.
good.
Yes,
Period.
it's very good.
Period.
It's very good.
Yeah.
And I just want listen, this one's not funny. Hey guys, this one's not funny.
Okay.
Jokes,
Thanks,
jokes
Dave.
leave the room.
All right, my jokes. You weren't here for
My
long.
jokes.
I mean, I miss you. we were hanging out. We were having a good time, but I guess Tyler doesn't like you. So we'll try to
This is where
you'll
we're
still
gonna
get
talk
paid your
about-
day rate. Sorry.
We're gonna do an episode about plot structure.
Okay.
We're gonna do an episode about feminist theory.
Uh-huh,
We're gonna
sure.
do an
Character
episode
development.
about
The
cinematography. Character development. We're going to do an episode chronicling Shia LaBeouf's early career and what led him to this motion picture.
Okay.
A holistic approach.
Okay.
Love
Tyler,
it. No notes.
I'm going to do this early because we have time in the year. And
Are you
I
McGullining
think this.
Tyler's McGullin?
There is already a 3 podcasts about Holes, one of which is a deep dive into the actual movie. So it is called Holes, the movie that raised us. So Tyler, you
But
want to?
It's not called a holistic approach.
No, hey Tyler, it's a very good pun. I'm loving it. It's up to you.
I'm
It's up to
dry.
you. We could try to pivot and go a different direction with it, or if you have another idea.
No. I'll do another one based on.
All right.
my
Well,
last-
no, Tyler.
I'll do a sort of a
Tyler.
sequel to my last podcast pitch. I'm using a McGullin. So last time I pitched a pod about things that have recently died.
Yes. Okay.
Today I'm pitching a pod about things that should come back.
Oh,
Rise from the
interesting. All right. Okay.
This is the Revivapod.
Revivapod. Okay. All right. All right. I'm here
right.
for it. I don't think this
This
exists.
is instead of eulogizing things that have died, we're gonna take stuff that died a long time ago and we're bringing it back.
Back in town, bringing it back. All right. All right.
Bringing
Hit
it
us
back.
Hit us
All
with
right.
some of your hot takes. I'll see if I have anything in my notes about this.
Parachute pants. They need to come back.
Ah, interesting. All right. Speak on. Hey, Tyler. Speak on that.
Airflow.
Parachute.
Airflow? That's fair. Hey, listen, swamp ass is a chronic sort of condition,
Listen,
I think, in the modern age.
I know you're O'Neill. I know you're a shorts person,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you could also do parachute pants because I think they're pants, but they give your legs the freedom of shorts.
Yeah, that's true. They give me the sort of freedom of movement. And after our last sort of, when our
People would
friends
heckle
the
you on the
McElroy
street.
talking about sleeping in jeans, I think that, that could be a potential other option. Okay, parachute pants. I'm with parachute pants.
Parachute pants. The Queen. Can we? Revivapod?
Revivapod. All right.
I don't like the new king.
Okay, that's
Revivify
fair.
The Queen.
So maybe what's her name? The actress who married Prince Harry. You're saying that maybe we should just sort of skip
Meghan
down the
Markle.
line a
Meghan
little bit.
Markle.
Meghan
We
Markle.
should skip down the yeah,
And-
we should
and just
kill
sort of
Harry,
put
though,
her.
so that Meghan's the queen, and then her line is sort of that.
I mean, or we could just sort of like have Harry be this side character, but it is Meghan Markle, our queen, our Lord and Savior, our British. And then it's like reverse colonialism because like she's American and we're like taking over the monarchy.
Would definitely be the most attractive royalty England's had in a while.
Yeah.
It's been a queen
Hey,
roast.
damn. Boom.
baby.
Boasted.
Woo,
All right.
roasted.
Olivia, do you have anything that you want to see come back?
Nightcaps.
Like the alcohol?
Like
No, sleep caps.
no,
Oh, like sleep caps, like the little
like
ball
a
thing?
sort of Scrooge McDuck style.
Kind of Ebenezer Scrooge, long hat with the little pom-pom.
Now I hate to
at
break
the
it to you,
bottom.
Olivia, but people with sort of curly and nappy hair have
We
been
do
sort of-
have that. But she's saying specifically.
No,
Yes.
not a bonnet. Bonnet's
Nightcaps.
here. Bonnet has been here.
Yeah,
Bonnet will stay
bonnets
here.
will stay here. Yes.
Sleep cap.
Sleep cap. What is the Olivia? Give me that justification for sleep cap.
Stim.
Okay, yeah, fair. Fidget. Sleep
bat
cap.
it around.
Oh my God.
Fidget.
Okay, $1 million idea.
Fidget
Fuck your
cube
podcast
at
idea
the
for a
end of a
second,
sleep
Tyler.
cap.
$1 million idea. Fidget spinner at the end of a sleep cap. We're gonna be fucking
that's
rich.
Just one of those caps that has the
2017
propeller
and
on top, but there's
1817
like a
called,
string
and they're
attached
here
it.
to collab.
Oh my god, guys! Imagine we get
Propeller cap with a fidget spinner.
holy
little
shit.
penny.
Okay, we get the we got guys. We get the guys.
TM.
We get the guys who made those Astro Boy boots to make that. It'll be huge. We'll make millions. We'll be fucking.
I'm calling
rich.
Balenciaga.
Fuck, we gotta call Balenciaga. Okay, so the Revivipod.
The Revivipod.
All right.
We can work on the name.
Yeah,
if
no.
you don't
We'll,
like
we'll
it.
we'll get back to titles. Let's talk sort of show structure. How are we picking these things? Because I mean, if you're talking about things that are gone, that's like a huge pool, right? Are we talking?
Most things are gone.
Most things are dead and gone, Tyler.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Small
guys, I
punk.
got
Well-
another one. Guys, I got another one.
What?
Oh, what? Yeah, go ahead.
Megalodon.
Megalodon. They're bringing.
Megalodon,
Oh,
bring
they're
it
bringing back.
back.
They're bringing back the mammoth. You guys hear about this?
Podcast break. Gotta look it up.
Podcast.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
Why is there not already an animated movie about the first mammoth that comes back that's looking for his mammoth brethren in the modern day?
That's what.
Why is
Hey,
that
Tyler.
not an
Hey,
anime?
Tyler. Hey, Tyler. That's the plot of Ice Age 2.
Guys, 2027, we're getting the mammoth back.
We did it.
Can we
Modern
talk
science.
Can we talk about that?
No.
Can we not bring the mammoth back?
Why not?
Can we bring back like animals that are recently extinct maybe instead?
Hey, Tyler, we've got a big backlog, all right? We're kind of just picking and choosing, all right? We got a lot of animals to bring back. We did the bison.
Saber, tooth, tiger.
That's just a tiger with extra long teeth, all right, Tyler?
So
I
they're
want to bring in the
basically gonna
unicorn,
take-
all right?
They're going to take bits of DNA recovered from frozen mammoth specimens,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to put it into an Asian elephant, the mammoth's closest living
That
relative.
poor elephant.
The resulting animal,
Hey, Tyler, they're
known
not
as a
fucking...
mammophant, would look and presumably behave much like a woolly
Could you
mammoth.
imagine? No.
Okay.
An alien species comes down
Uh-huh.
and grabs you liver
Yes,
and
me.
goes, we're going to impregnate you with a Neanderthal that we found, just sort of a Neanderthal DNA that we sort of found in Europe.
What do you think the vegan teacher thinks about all this?
But the thing is, if I was an elephant, I wouldn't know that I was being inseminated
They're
with.
pretty
They're
smart.
smart. I don't
And
know,
they
maybe.
are, but I don't think they would know what was in the test tube, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's fair. They don't know what
They
the
would
juice
know
is.
what
They're
is in
not
their
gonna
bellies when they get
know.
pregnant.
It's not gonna be. It's probably gonna be like a Rosemary's Baby situation.
Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, let's pivot. Let's pivot
Rosemary's
back to the
woolly
show.
mammoth
Back to the
baby.
show. We can't do this. Tyler.
Now we're just doing the Revivipod. That was the Revivipod.
That was the Revivipod. No. I think it needs a little bit more form and structure. I can't see this
Okay,
be like
hang
a
on. Could
riff
there be a
pod.
segment?
Okay.
Could there be a segment about stuff that is being brought back?
Yes.
And we debate whether we
Whether
should.
the merits
Okay.
of whether
Yes.
it should.
Okay. I think that's a.
We
okay.
decide
so,
what lives and dies.
Maybe this is like a one of those debate podcasts where like each person brings something and then we have to decide what we are bringing. Much like this show where we
Yes,
bring
I like
different
that.
ideas.
Super fight
So
situation,
yeah, it's sort of
yes.
and we vote on which one we think we should bring back. Okay, I like that.
Bring back rom-coms. They don't make them anymore.
I mean, they do make them, Tyler. They just go straight to streaming, and that's the problem. But let's
Why aren't we getting a Timothy Chalamet
honestly.
rom-com? In 1994, he would have been in like
He would have been in every single one.
Yeah.
His bones are so small, he can fit behind any camera. No, okay. Revivipod. I feel
Dude,
like there has to be
rom-com.
more. Huh?
Make Dune a rom-com.
Dune a rom-com. Interesting.
It is the Dune, the sequel to Dune, Dune 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Yeah.
is a little rom-commy. I don't know if you've read the book,
No.
but it's sort of like he's
Hey,
sleeping
O'Neill,
with
future O'Neill,
his
I hope
sort
you're
of-
enjoying this because, you are going to have to cut this because we're talking about Dune on this podcast, on this good Christian podcast. So I just want to
And
let you
then,
know that
Paul turns into
and then I want to
sort of
let you
like
know
a-
that I'm with you
then
in this
Paul's son
moment,
sort of just
future
keeps
O'Neill.
I've recently been doing a lot of
it is
research on
usually,
the Japanese imperial family.
Worm
Oh, and
God
we're just sort of doing
12,000
word
years.
spaghetti now, and this is sort of interesting because like this is unlistenable, and so I will have to
brother
cut
had a
this.
son,
And
and
so
before
this
they
is
were like, oh, we don't have
this
to
is
like
great.
amend
This
the
is actually great.
Constitution to like
This is like sort of like a nice little
the Empress
a little
based on
trip
the
in
1947,
past O'Neill and future O'Neill.
across the universe.
That was fucking insane.
I I'm debating between either titling this. I'm debating between either titling this the Cum Down or just our worst episode yet, and you can skip this one. You guys can just skip this one.
This is not our worst.
Skip this episode.
There's still so much time to
That's
save
true.
it.
That's true.
Let's
much
keep
like
talking
your
about
pitch
my
idea, we should
pod.
revive this episode. All right. Fuck. All right. Let's just hammer down, Tyler. It's an idea for sure. Let's do titles and then move on. What do
We have a holistic approach and the Revivipod.
The Revivipod, the holistic
The Repodify.
Repodify, Spotify, Return. What about just the Return, semicolon, the podcast? Is that anything?
I don't mind that.
How about can we title a podcast It's Alive?
Bringing it back, the podcast.
Bringing it back, the podcast. How about we call it, what's that Christian story where people get resurrected?
There's a lot of those.
No, I mean the Lazzy Pod. Laszlo? Let's bring back
The
Laszlo.
Lazarus
Let's
Project.
bring back Camp Laszlo.
No. Wait. We just call it the Lazarus Pit. Because
The Lazarus Pod.
The Lazarus Pod. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Because the Lazarus Pit in DC Comics.
Oh boy, another thing I'm gonna have to cut. Tyler, thank you.
Okay, so Ra's al Ghul is the
Okay, future O'Neill.
of the League of
I
Assassins.
just want to. I feel you in this moment, and so what I really think is
and
that
his daughter
I'm with you in this
Talia
moment, and so I'll probably give you
So I
a
was
clap
looking at
at some point. I didn't give you one for the last one,
and
so
okay, she was a
I
werewolf
think
at
when
first,
you
obviously, after
You
know what this episode is?
And I was looking
Maybe
at
this
other,
episode is like a
Pulitzer
choose your own
Prize controversies,
adventure
and who else
episode
is-
where
who
like you
else is
pan
a
them
Rachel
all
Wolf
different
is
ways,
sort of
and like you can take your
No,
headphones off and you're hearing
Subway
Tyler,
has, like,
and you can do
Under the
this one and
Belt
you're
sort of,
hearing
like,
yourself,
snub that year.
and then
And then there was
Olivia's.
this other
I don't
guy
even
who was
know what
also-
Olivia's doing
his
because she
reward was
just sort
taken
of.
away
I
because
heard
he was
Sylvia
historian
Plath
for
at
the
one point,
Manhattan
so that was
Project.
something.
And then,
Are we calling it the Lazarus Pod and we can move on?
It's the Lazarus Pod. And
Okay, thank
Moving
God.
on.
Thank God, Tyler. Oh, God bless. God bless. All right. Let's spin this fucking wheel. Jesus Christ.
this is insane.
And to spin the wheel.
The two
Oh shit.
O's.
Oh shit. Is it me? It's me. Okay. All right. All right.
O'Neill.
Something
Oh,
good.
and
you fuck.
all right.
O'Neill. Henry.
All right.
Henry. Woo!
I have two that I want to choose from, and I'll give you guys your options here. Do you guys want sort of a game discussion pod, or do you want a funny, jokey pod?
Are you talking about like a game as in like it is a game that we play,
similar-
or
I
are
wanna
we
play a
talking
game.
about a
Do you want to play a
Wanna
game? We did do.
O'Neill, I want to play
we did
a
Blood Tea Tree. We did
O'Neill, I
Blood
want to
Tea
play a
Tree.
game.
O'Neill, I wanna play a
O'Neill,
game.
I
We
wanna
just
play a game
did
right now. Entertain me right
two
now.
ones
I
in a
want a game. I want to be amused. I
row. I
want
wanna play a
recreation.
game.
play a
Just
game?
characters.
Nah.
It's not a game. It's not a game. It's
I
more of
want a
it's a
game.
discussion pod where we can have fun in this space. If you guys want to do that. All right.
I'm down with that.
All right. Then I don't have a title for this one though, so we are gonna have to spend some time titling.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a simple pitch. We can figure out storm and structure. It's much like a story break. This is a sequel prediction podcast. Where we take a movie or a franchise or just a movie that we think are going to, or a show even, that we know is going to have a revival, and then we predict the story beats of it. I have given you guys my pitch on what Avatar 3 is going to be. I am pretty solid on that one. I feel like my shot.
I don't think you've done that on the pod.
No, okay, yeah. So I'll do it on the pod. So
We can talk about that later.
yeah, okay, yeah. We'll do that later if we need to. We could possibly do that for if we decide to do this one for the B segment. But predicting the sequels for movies. How do we feel about this?
I like it. I have a lot of things to say.
Okay. Do you have what
Title idea.
Okay. Let's
Oracle
do
2
structure first, and then
Electric
podcast 2 Electric Boogaloo. Is that what you said?
Oracle
2 Electric
Because we're
Boogaloo.
predicting things.
How about just podcast 2 Electric Boogaloo? I kind of like that one. Okay, so before we get into titles, let's do sort of form and structure. What are we thinking?
So would it be like one feature film or franchise
Oh,
or
yes,
television
exactly.
show series is brought a week and the three of us discuss
Yeah.
possibilities, or is it like we each bring a thing, be like, here's what I have to say about this?
I think a la Story Break, we sort of break it down act by act as we craft this story, right? I think we start the show by recapping the thing we are sequeling, right? So we give a recap for Avatar 2: Way of the Water. We give a recap for Squid Game. We give it, we sort of discuss those things, and then we use that as a launching off point to say where do we think the first act is going, and we can sort of structure how we want to do. I'm actually better as a writer, better at like sort of writing, coming up with the ending and sort of like navigating there usually. But I don't know about you guys' writing styles, so
I'm very much a bit like a start at the beginning and like
work your way through it. Okay, yeah.
I'll come up with a scene that I like, write it, and then figure out how to.
You know what? I think an interesting sort of segment bit thing for this would be like a call sheet almost, which is like these are the things that I think have to be in the plot for the new thing, and then we sort of build from there, and then we can go act by act.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So
I want to write Fast and Furious 13.
13. You want to jump a couple movies?
I have not watched any pod. I have not watched those movies.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's why I want to make wild
through osmosis,
predictions.
they sent a fucking car into space in the last one.
Yeah, they go into space.
Family. Yeah. So I again, it's a very, very simple pitch. I think the other one would have had maybe a little bit more like legroom, but I think it's a good pod. So yeah.
I think that like it very much plays to our strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And
now I will say we did a lot of movie talk recently, so I don't know.
That's true.
Hey O'Neill,
that's true.
Look at the three of us and tell me what else we can do.
That's fair. Hey, that's fair. You know what? We don't have a lot of besides our like sort of individual sort of hyper focuses, which is always fun.
We can get Jesse back on and do sort of a science pod if you want.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. All right. So yeah, let's bang out some more sort of segmenty stuff before we move on to titles.
Yeah. There's a callback segment.
Yeah.
Yep.
A callback. Oh yeah. Callbacks. That's a good one. Our callback sheet. Okay, that's very good. That's
establishing when they say the name of the title of the movie.
Okay. All right. If they do, for sure. Maybe let's cast it. We should probably cast it at some point.
Cast it. Mm-hmm.
Cast it. All right. Yeah. 100%.
Characters.
What if we redid the Marvel Phase 4? What if we were like, we could do it better?
I've never
sequel to
seen
Endgame.
Any of them? Yeah, that's fair.
Therefore,
right. I think we leave the
Marvel.
discussion as to what we are actually going to do. We'll figure that out in the writers' room if we decide to do this idea. Let's talk titles. What do we got for titles? Podcast 2 Electric Boogaloo I do like. That's a personal choice. Let's ruminate on it. Let's meditate on it.
Predicting the pictures.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Dear Lord and Savior, God in heaven, Christ our Lord and Savior, please save this podcast episode from being a McCullough. we need your help, Lord.
Podicting. Podicting pod equals.
Tyler, please.
Jesus.
Tyler, please. I'm on my knees. Tyler. I'm begging you, Tyler. I'm spiraling right now, Tyler. You're at the wheel and you're doing this. You're spinning the cart. We're on like the little tea kettle and I'm about to yards, all right? So I'm going to need you to course correct. Let's get us back on track. Everybody bow your heads and pray to whatever God you need to, all right?
Yahweh.
Jesus. All right. Other sequel names.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What are sequels? What's a good? Can we call this podcast 2 The Way of Water?
That's very good.
Very good.
Can we call this podcast part 2? Can we just call it the part 2 pod?
The part 2 pod. I like it keeping sequel-ish stuff in there. Is there another the podcast trilogy?
The podcast returns.
The return of the
podcast
pod.
strikes back.
No, that's the podcast strikes back.
The podcast 2049.
That's 2049. You can't just do that's the thing. What encapsulates all of the sequel names, right? I guess just 2 usually. Too Fast, Too Podcasts? Is that anything?
Too Pod, Too
Too
Furious.
Pod, Too Furious.
I'm positive. I'm pod.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Somebody's podcast.
Too Pod, Too Furious.
If we do one more pod bun, I get a free frozen yogurt.
Um,
Oh man.
Podcast 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm kind of here for.
Hey, in how do you guys feel
podcast
about?
too, La Cosa
Hang on,
Oh,
guys, La Cosa. Sort
No,
of a fun
no,
callback.
yeah.
Okay,
Hey, Tyler,
hang on. I think I
please.
have an idea.
Oh shit, guys! Podcast 2 Electric Boogaloo is taken.
No,
Fuck.
hang on,
Okay.
hang on. I think I've got one. In sort of the sequel genre of Alien and Predator, could we just call this one podcasts?
Oh.
Because the
Hey,
sequel
Tyler,
to
our SEO ain't great. I try to do as much as I can in our episodes to get people to be able to find our shit.
like there is a movie called Aliens and everyone saw it.
You also can't.
It's
be
not
like-
it's just a word.
It's like naming a movie movies. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's
I guess, yeah.
where we're at.
Fuck
you
me.
can't really put a TM, a trademark on podcast.
On podcasts.
It's like saying the big game.
I think it needs a colon. I think it needs
Yes.
a colon
Okay.
Yes,
because
yes,
now
yes,
sequels
yes.
all have a colon.
Yes, okay.
Now, all movies have a colon though. That's my new thing.
Yeah.
Like the Dungeons and Dragons movie is Dungeons
Yeah,
and
that's
Dragons
fair.
colon Honor Among Thieves.
Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's been a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
There was a Lion King. You just put the little parentheses with a year next to
The
it.
Lion
True.
King
Could we just do it
Bride.
podcast 2023?
2023.
This is the
Sorry,
live.
that would
this is
imply
the live
reboot.
action.
That would
Yeah,
imply
that's true. That's
reboot,
true. This is
though.
not the reboot podcast. This is the
This
sequel
is the live
podcast.
action podcast. If we ever get to do
Which,
live shows,
dibs on that podcast.
Yes, okay,
idea.
sure. You can have
This,
that one.
but for reboots.
You might need it. Podcast, the sequel is not taken. Podcast, the Squeakquel.
Podcasts with a vengeance.
Podcast, the Squeakquel.
Podcast
Wait,
for
okay. I've
Harvard.
got it. Podcast returns the Squeakquel with a vengeance.
You were just
returns
complaining.
the
You were
Squeakquel
just
with a
complaining about
vengeance.
SEO.
Okay, yes, but at least if people's brains latch onto that and they remember that, they can at least search that.
How about
Okay.
The Bride of Podcasts? Like The Bride of Frankenstein, the sequel to Frankenstein.
Okay, let's just continue building this out then. The Bride of Podcasts, semicolon. I forgot what the first thing I said of the return, the Squeakquel with a vengeance. The podcast, Bride of Podcasts with a vengeance. The
Quick,
Squeakquel.
write it down.
Fuck. Okay.
Tokyo
Podcast.
Drift.
Fuck. Tokyo. The Bride of Podcasts
Soul deny is bitter.
with a vengeance. With
Two colons.
Squeakquel. I can't fucking spell squeak. Squeakquel. Tokyo.
Return with a Vengeance, Tokyo Drift.
Sweating. I'm laughing.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh no! Can you read that back for us? Can
yeah.
you read that back? For us?
Yeah. It's called the
Don't break.
Bride. Oh yeah. Okay.
You're a professional.
Yeah. Let me button it up. This is my audition for hosting.
Because if you break, then what do we
Yeah,
have left?
true.
It's just liver.
True. So right now we have the Bride of Podcasts with a Vengeance, the Squeakquel, the Return, semicolon Tokyo Drift. Oh, very good.
I don't think there's ever been a semicolon in a podcast title.
Hey guys, at least this one isn't taken. We know this for certain. Ah, very good. All right. God bless. At least we pulled it out in the end there. All right.
Okay,
Liver,
you
you're
wanna
up.
give us? You want to give us a good
Yeah,
pod,
you wanna
or
give us-
are we doing the Bride of Podcast?
No,
with
okay,
the
well,
Vengeance
let's
of
fucking
Squeakquel to
we'll get
return
it. Let's
in
get it.
Tokyo
Let's
Drift?
not fucking pontificate
okay.
before we actually get into deliberation.
This pitch comes in 2 parts.
Okay, 2 parts. Okay, great. Love
Part
it.
1.
Okay, part 1.
Part 1.
This is a Mindy Kaling's Velma hate podcast.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of
Part
here for it.
2.
I'm kind of here for it.
This is Mystery Incorporated, the podcast.
Oh shit, Olivia. Okay, wait, Olivia. I do need you to be careful.
True crime style.
No, okay,
podcast.
Olivia. I need you to scrap.
Solve mystery.
I need you to be careful with that because the crumble will feature some Mystery Incorporated sort of stuff. I've been writing
Do I
on
have
it.
to use my McGullen?
No. I'm saying we could do a little bit of both. We could tie it in. We can make the PPPCU. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But I just want to be careful that we don't dip too far into the true crime because the crumble is still coming. I promise. I'm working on it. But I do love the Mindy Kaling Velma hate show because this show is terrible. I dip my toe in a little bit. It's as bad as people say it is, which is great. There was a thing, I didn't obviously watch this episode, but there was an episode where I guess Velma kills Freddy's mom and then starts twerking.
Yeah.
This show is a mess. Okay, so continue with your pitch, Olivia. But just
That was it.
oh, that was it? Okay.
Oh, look! The wind in my sails!
Oh, there it goes. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, wow. Isn't it beautiful?
The wind has changed, boys.
No. We got this. You gave us good bones. I just need you to.
I'm sorry to step on your cookie fiction, O'Neill.
No. I love it. I love it. I
kind
love
of
it. The Velma hate pod, Olivia. What were you thinking on that before we got there?
Yeah. How do we structure these episodes?
Bad.
Or just give us like why you thought this.
Well, so
why
okay.
this?
Here's
Yeah.
what I think. Okay. So here's like in my heart of hearts, I know.
Speak your truth. Speak on that.
That Scooby Doo,
Yeah.
Mystery Incorporated, that franchise will eventually be like one of the great stories of our generation, kind of thing.
Okay.
Where like it's gonna be I feel like it would be one of those things that enters the public domain, kind of thing.
Oh,
where you
and
have
it's
your
gonna be
Sherlock
spun off.
Holmes,
Yeah,
you
okay, I
have
see.
your Winnie the Pooh, and you have your Scooby Doo.
I see,
Like
I see,
there's
I see.
like enough. Like there's the characters are solid enough
Yes.
that they are somewhat
The
universal.
IP is
I would agree with
universal.
that.
Yes, exactly.
And so you have you've had so many remakes of Scooby Doo since the original Hanna-Barbera, and
Yes,
most of them
exactly.
are pretty good.
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty good.
I mean, it's been there has never. I think the longest break for Scooby Doo product has been 2 years. There has been a 2 year.
Yeah.
There was like a 2 year
There
gap
is
in the
always
90s.
a Scooby Doo
there's
being done.
since like the 60s when it first started, and it was like
Yeah, so like
you guys
show,
see Scoob?
movies,
Yeah.
like there was a Kiss
very
crossover Scooby Doo movie.
Yeah. And it lives in the
Seen it.
same space, but with more
great.
relevancy than Archie comics. Like it's
Oh,
more
like
relevant
Riverdale,
than
yeah.
Archie comics. But it
Yes,
still lives in that
absolutely.
sort of crossover space.
By hundreds of miles.
Exactly.
So here's like this thing where like it's culturally beloved, it's still relevant, because you are able to revamp it for the the age if you want to do it. You can sort of make it your own a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But then you have this crock of shit
Uh-huh.
that is just, it takes everything that the original Scooby Doobers, the Scooby
Scooby boobies, as we like to call
Scooby-E,
ourselves. Thank you.
like,
up and butt up.
is built off of, and then they like Lily singed it,
Yes.
I have beef with Mindy Kaling. This
Yes.
is officially
Yes. No, I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
Kaling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
so
want to.
It's just particularly. It is literally like there's like bad Scooby Doo movies and remakes. There's a bad egg everywhere.
Yes, of
I
course.
feel like this is the first time that the reputation of Scooby Doo
has been
at
damaged.
stake.
Yeah, a
It
little
is
bit.
damaged.
A little bit.
Like,
a little bit.
A little
But I
bit.
think it's
like,
also been so outlandish, this show, that it's been almost divorced from Scooby Doo. It's almost like like a weird like when they made the Simpsons movie and it wasn't part of the canon sort of deal. Like it's been sort of out
like the SpongeBob movie.
The
like,
Sponge,
it's
yeah,
just
exactly.
So
I do So I do want to sort of focus in on the Scooby Doo nature of this. I did do just some quick Googling. These are the current Scooby Doo podcasts. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
There is a podcast named Scooby Doo. That one just focuses on just Scooby Doo in general. There's one called Meddling Adults where they, just talk about the individual mysteries. And then there's the podcast named Scooby Doo. And then there's Month of Monsters, semicolon, a Scooby-Doo PAW cast, which is fucking fantastic. That's great. I love that. That's great. Oh, it ended in 2018 though. But okay, so yes, I do want to kind of hone down on Scooby-Doo because it is
there's
a very
hole
specific,
in the market.
there is a bit of a hole in the market. I'm not going to lie. And I think that, especially with new iterations of Scooby-Doo that we're going to continue getting. I mean, there was the Scoob movie, right? There's all that sort of content. So we can talk about that. But hey, this is something. Hey, Zaslav, come here.
Hey, Zaz.
Get your ass here. Get your ass in here. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes, Zaslav.
CEO, for those of you
who that's fair.
CEO of Warner Brothers.
CEO of Warner Brothers, who canceled all your favorite shows that you loved on Cartoon Network and HBO. Sit your ass down. You canceled the fucking Scoob sequel for this shit? Explain yourself.
Hang on.
War crime.
Zaz? Oh no, he's crying.
Oh, he's crying.
Oh, he's just crying.
He's just crying. He says, I only know how to do reality.
3 kids. He's actually 3 children in a trench coat.
Oh, that makes
sense.
sense.
Can't cut off his fingers then. All right.
Oh, fuck. Get out of here, you scamps. We'll get Bob Iger to replace you too, I guess.
Stop it. Give me that coat. No, stop it. Give me that. You're not going in to see.
Take that out of your mouth. Put it down. All right. Anyway, that was our church camp sketch for Warner Brothers Discovery. Yes. Okay. I do want to hone in on this sort of Scooby Doo style topic show, but can we spice it up? Let's spice it up. Let's add that pod twist to it.
Because I presented it in two parts in the way that okay, we could sort of focus on let's redo Velma, and but in a podcast form. So let's do podcast, but as the characters from Scooby Doo. The only thing is there's 5 or 6 of them. Yeah. So
but could there be a segment in the thing where it's hey, if they were to take another swing at Velma, could it work?
Yeah.
I mean, that could be an episode,
say,
right?
Hypothetically, where we were to expand it, a segment you could do every week where this is bad, but could it work and how?
Yeah, because it does good things. Obviously Velma's a person of color, and she is canonically
Shaggy's
queer.
a person of color, and that works really well.
Really well.
When they casted the Shaggy as a person of color thing, I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense because much like one of our favorite movies, Nope, Shaggy does have that black character going into a horror movie thing. It's nope. That plays really well, but they fucking ruined him in the show.
Yeah, and then they beefed it. They beefed it so hard.
Fucking hard. Got me so hyped for nothing.
A Velma revisionist podcast.
Yeah, I'm with that. Maybe we could do it a la. I mean, I know I just pitched a version of this, but a story break-esque thing. I like what you said about Scooby Doo eventually being in the public domain, and then we will see this explosion of Scooby Doo content and Scooby Doo different takes on Scooby Doo and the Scooby Doo format. Is there a way where we can sort of start that so we can have something in our back pockets, in our coffers, in our retirement? We can maybe
our Scooby Doo fan fiction podcast.
Exactly, right? a little bit, right? And then we could do crossover stuff and and revisit in the past and then a little bit in the future. Is that interesting at all? Is there something there?
I think this could be a 2-part pod.
Okay, speak on that.
I see this as a 2-part pod. I see the first part as a discussion of why it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it doesn't work. Here's what it is. Here's what it does. Here's what it doesn't do well. Here's what it does well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sort of second part of that pod is us sort of breaking down how it could work and outlining sort of a story where it's okay, here's where they went right. Let's twist it, because that's the other thing is
we nail our 95 theses to the door of Mindy Kaling's
I don't
want to
just hate on stuff. A lot of people worked hard on this.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know.
Animation is such a hard
core idea doesn't work, but I want to.
It is a faux pas, Tyler, to take an idea that exists and then be how could we make this work? That is a little bit of a faux pas in Hollywood. but I would say that probably wouldn't be the best thing for this pod. But I do think just taking that take of, okay, we're going to do an adult Scooby Doo. How could we make this work? And then cross compare that with Velma. I would be better with
there's like
that.
the Saturday Murder Club, which is like the Scooby Doo like knockoff horror movie, which is like definitely a thing. But like,
okay,
that's what I was saying. It's less like let's twist what is there, and more like, okay, we're gonna if we were going to do a adult Scooby Doo, how would we? do it?
Just to sort of wrap all of our ideas up together, unless you guys want to deviate from this. But my take on what we've gotten so far is this is a Scooby Doo creation podcast where we examine the IP of Scooby Doo and come up with different stories for it every time. And one of our episodes, wink, 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 could be a adult Scooby Doo and cross comparing that with Velma. And I have a title for it, if you guys will allow me.
hit me with it.
By all means.
Scooby Doo 2059, because that is when it will enter the public domain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually
pretty
perfect.
good. Scooby Doo 2059 is pretty good.
Yeah? We like that?
I like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
Cool. I think we got there. I think I like this idea. Olivia, do you have any other like addendums you want to add to this podcast description at all, or?
Scrappy Doo spinoff.
Yes. We need more Scrappy Doo content. I think that's the forgotten child.
Bring back the sexy witch ladies from the one.
Hex Girls.
Hex Girls.
Revivapod, the Hex Girls.
Fuck.
I'm gonna cast a spell on you.
Recap. Tyler, I need you. You have to do both. Remember, you have to remember both.
So my first pitch is a holistic approach, a podcast examining media literacy through the lens of the all-time classic movie Holes.
And then your actual pitch.
Did we come up with a better name than the Revivapod? I forgot. The Lazurus Pod.
Yes, the Lazurus Pod. Thank you.
The Lazurus Pod is a pod where we each bring something that should be brought back to life and sort of examine why it was dead and decide whether it should be resurrected from death.
And then my podcast, The Bride of Podcasts with a Vengeance, the Squeakquel, The Return, Tokyo Drift, is a podcast predicting the future sequels of franchises and other IP.
And Scooby Doo 2059 is a podcast in which we evaluate the many, many forms of Scooby Doo and chariot it to its future and its many, many stories to come.
Sick. And now it's time to go to Deliberation. This was an episode.
This was an episode of a podcast.
This was an episode of a podcast. We have 3 ideas, 4 technically, but one of them has already been made. So we'll sort of scratch that one from the discussion so far. It was Mogolin. Tyler, you have used a Mogolin, which I think we should discuss on here, because you can't bring another beefer for 3 calendar months. So before we get into the deliberation, Tyler, how do you feel?
A bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
And
as you should be.
As you should be. Yeah, hey Tyler,
it's bad and you should feel
Tyler,
bad.
it's bad. You should feel bad.
Which
you fucked up.
pod is worse, a holistic approach or assholes versus philosophy?
I think a holistic approach. The only reason it was really scrapped while we didn't dive too deep is because it does exist already. Yeah. I know we could have probably worked it a little bit more to spin it, but I actually you know what, Tyler, I do like Lazurus Pod insofar as it has legs. That's really what I think is that, like, you could do Lazurus Pod.
I want to talk about something, guys.
Okay.
I know the Lazurus Pod is fine. It's a fine idea. It's not going to win. Let's scrap it. I think it should be one of your 2 ideas.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about something. There are a lot of Scooby Doo podcasts.
Yeah.
I've just Googled it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Scooby Doo podcasts. There are a lot of Scooby Doo podcasts examining different stuff. It is not a unique idea. A lot of people like Scooby Doo.
But
I'm a little bit upset that my idea was scrapped, but Olivia's was not.
Okay, fuck.
Tyler's big mad.
I'd like to
Tyler's
formally
big
retract my podcast
No.
idea.
Well, that means you have to use a Mogolin and you have to bring another one.
No, this is
That's
a
all I'm saying.
formal inquiry.
This is an audit. This is an audit. That's what you're saying.
This is a formal audit. There are podcasts that do exactly what we are doing with Scooby Doo.
Well, I wouldn't say though. know that, Tyler, because this isn't the idea for Scooby Doo 2059 that I think makes it unique, because I did read through a lot of these descriptions while we were riffing. There isn't really a show that examines Scooby Doo as a storytelling format and then creates new possible ideas out of it, right? This is a la our podcast creed. This could be a moneymaker for us. We could eventually come up with something that, will make us money.
I feel like it's been a while since we've mentioned the idea that we
should make money. It's because we've been in litigation, Tyler. It's because our ass is on the seat.
We're actively losing money. Our last 2 pods are losing us money.
We're hemorrhaging hundreds of thousands of dollars over here.
Listen, we're not supposed to talk about it. There's an NDA, but the McElroys have sued
the McElroys have decided to take us to court.
The Academy of Motion Picture
Sciences has our ass over a fire.
I got a letter from Travis that said my impression of him was actually, quote, too accurate.
Too accurate and too funny is what they said. They said it was too accurate and too funny.
Weird. What was that supposed to mean?
Yeah. They said that the Photoshop job was really good, though. They really appreciated the logo. I don't know. Let's just gut check real quick. What are we feeling?
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Hey, listen, we have a whole second half of the show. We could pull it around for the B segment, and maybe that should be our guiding light. Which one do we think we could pull this episode out of the burning flames of hell?
We don't do a B segment.
We just let it sit? Are we going to McGoal in the whole episode? Is that what you're saying? No, we can't do that. We can't do that. This is a show. We have to do. Listen. We have to do. We're going to be doing this until we die. All right? That's what I'm saying right now. Until one of us dies and we get our Ed Pod taff, we're going to be doing this show for forever. All right? We got a long time going. We got a long time coming. We're going to have some beefers. There's going to be some beefer episodes, all right? There's got to be some beefers. We use a lot of brain power on writing the Glassies Presents the Oscars. It was a heavy-hitting episode. Don't know how it's politically
Please listen to the episode.
Please,
if you didn't listen to it last week, please, for the love of God, listen to the podcast. I had a mental breakdown while we were writing the script, and if you don't listen to it, I'm gonna commit myself. This is a threat. Okay, this is a guarantee. I am on the fucking edge.
So with that, do we want to do the Bride of Podcasts with a Vengeance, the Squeakquel, the Return of Tokyo Drift, or Scooby Doo 2059? How are we feeling? Which one do we think would be? Which one do we think would save this episode? Is my question.
Let's do the sequel one.
Yeah.
Really? Because I'm more interested in doing the Scooby Doo one.
But as you said, Tyler, there's a lot of Scooby Doo podcasts.
Let me think. Let's do this. Let's actually do this, because I do think all 3 of these do have legs. I know I say this about a lot of our podcast ideas, and you guys don't necessarily believe them, but I do think any of these could, with a little bit more elbow grease, could be turned into bit depths. Which between the 2 would actually possibly come back to. I do think the Bride of Podcasts with a Vengeance, the Squeakquel, the Return Tokyo Drift. I do think that's a B segment. That's a B segment idea, right?
That's a B segment idea. That's a B segment title.
I do think Scooby Doo 2059. When would we return to Scooby Doo 2059 or the sequel pod? The sequel pod, it just feels like a B segment, right?
It feels like a pod B segment. Yeah.
Is there a time when we could return to Scooby Doo 2059? Because I do like that.
Put him on a boat and send it to Valhalla. I'm okay with just
like sending it off.
The idea.
In the arms of an angel.
We had to put Scooby Doo down.
Okay. No,
I feel if we're gonna continue with this particular brand of energy, I think the sequel one is like. I think we need to sit in our broth a little bit.
Okay.
We need to sit in our marinade. And just continue to just take this energy into the B segment.
Sure. I really think
so. I think the sequel.
The sequel thing. Okay. All right, we'll do that. Well, no more podcast talk then. We've done all the self shitting we can for this episode. A lot of it probably will get cut, but I do think
God, I hope so. This A-segment recording is an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
goddamn.
An hour and 40 minutes.
Hey, Future O'Neill, I do apologize in advance. You're going to have some hell with this.
Future Tyler,
Do better.
I apologize for, do better.
No, it's all good. So with that, we will be back to you with the Bride of Podcasts, with a vengeance, the Squeakquel, the Return, Tokyo Drift.